Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. New viewers, I'm getting this clear right now. This isn't a Minecraft podcast. We're in Minecraft. It's just the setting. This isn't a Minecraft podcast. Don't worry if you're not a Minecraft enjoyer. We're joined by HyLion today.
It's me.
I'm making it sound like this isn't the first podcast I've ever done. It's the first one.
This is new. This is very awkward.
It's very awkward because I don't know what I'm doing.
You'll get better. We'll get better.
Everyone's going to get better. So essentially what this is, we're going to just debate dumb questions, mostly. Have some silly discussions. It's going to be silly, crazy, and very goober.
Is that what we're doing? I thought we were going to plant potatoes. Like, I'm out of here. This isn't what I signed up for.
It's just left the set.
Oh my god.
Okay, so credits to Lumi. His little Minecraft skin's up there on the shelf next to you.
Yep.
He you could barely see it from there. I don't know why it looks like you're sprinting right now.
What?
Like on my screen, there are like sprint particles below you.
What?
From when you ran back in and sat down.
What the? Does this fix that?
Okay, that's fine now. Yeah, it's fine. I don't know what
I'm not
that.
running anymore, if you couldn't tell.
Yeah, so this is it's not a Minecraft podcast. We're just setting it in Minecraft because so many podcasts, they just have like face cams and everything. And yeah, that's great. But we don't want to do that. We want to set it in Minecraft. But like that's the only relation to Minecraft here. So if you're not really a fan of Minecraft, you don't really play that many games, that's fine. It really is just the visual side of things. And and if you're listening right now, if you're not watching and you're just listening, this makes absolutely no difference to you.
True. You can't see the squares.
But Lumi up there, he made the intro music and it's amazing. I'm really happy with it. I commissioned him to make it and I didn't really know what I wanted. Like he asked me, okay, do you want something chill or do you want a Sonic jingle?
Really? Really?
Yeah.
Sonic jingle? I mean, I can kind of hear it now that you say it. But
and I said Sonic. Just that kind of style with like I had to remind myself of a Sonic jingle. I searched it up and it's just, that was perfectly what I wanted. And he made like our own unique kind of thing. It's really good.
It is. It's awesome.
It's really good. I'm in love with it. It's awesome. I've listened to it many times. It's like 5 seconds long, the main one, and I keep listening to it. It's really good. So
it has that like aura, that vibe to it. There's just like, oh, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah, like a really kind of playful, kind of like enjoyable, and I really like it. Yeah, makes me very happy. It's awesome. Okay, so how are we going to do this? So we've split these questions up. So we have 8 questions, but they're split up into 3 different categories. So we have 4 kind of like general debate ones, which as an example is not in here. It's something like cereal or milk first, that kind of thing. And we'll like debate some things. Some of these we might have opposing views on. If there are any that we have the same views on, we can still probably try and discuss a few things. It could just be really silly.
I can play devil's advocate.
We can just try and discuss why there are some individuals out there who don't believe what we believe. I don't know. It'll be crazy.
Yeah.
We'll have 2 game-related questions, so just general games in general. And then we'll have 2 kind of more personal ones after that. Guest-wise. So I guess I'm the one who's going to be in every single one of these. Lion.
I'm sorry to disappoint everyone. I'm not going to be.
Yes, it's very disappointing. Lion's a great voice.
I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
So we're going to have a different like guest every video, every time. It's going to be awesome. I've been really, really hyped to do this, and I'm looking forward to it. So. Yeah. Do you want to jump into the first question?
I mean, that's what we're here for, right? We're not planting potatoes, apparently. So
we're definitely not. Look at the name. The potato fields. We had a big discussion about the name. We'll talk about it more later on. There is one other podcast with the name The Potato Field, like singular, and they haven't done anything for like a year, and it seems like their podcast is mostly just about like potatoes, like actual potatoes. We just have a potato theme. We're nothing about potatoes. It's just a name.
I'm sorry to disappoint again. There's not going to be any potato discussion.
It's starch discussion. Anyway. That was terrible. Okay. He got it. It wasn't even that funny.
I just got it.
So,
anyway.
The first question that we have, and this one question, I'm glad we're starting it off with this one, because this is the question which led to the idea of actually doing this podcast to begin with. We were on a call the other night, and this question came up, and we were debating this for a little bit until we stopped. But there's more discussion to be had with this. So, at what point does bread become toast?
Okay. You specifically asked me this one because I was the one that had some things to say about this. Okay, so tell us your opinion first, because I believe that's going to be the one that most people will find normal.
Okay, right. I mean, I'm not sure, but it's like it's difficult to really tell. My perspective of when bread becomes toast would be when it starts to get crispy. Just overall, when the bread starts to get crispy, that's when it becomes toast.
When is that? How can you measure that?
In crispiness.
That's not measurable. That's not very scientific.
Well, what's your perspective then, Lion?
Well, my perspective is, and you know this very well. You see, a toaster's purpose is to toast, right? You put the bread in, and you take it out, and you have your toast. Until you take it out, it's not toast yet. It's bread in the process of toasting. Does that make any sense?
Somewhat.
Yeah. So, unless you take the bread out, it's not toast yet. It's still toasting. It's only when you take it out that it becomes toast. Obviously, like, you can't just take it out while it's still, like, basically bread. That's still bread. But when you take it out and it's crispy, like you said, it's toast.
Okay, so your perspective, you're putting bread in the toaster. That's still bread. Yes. When you take that toasted bread out of the toaster, that's when it becomes toast, in your perspective. Yes,
that is when it becomes toast. It's a social construct.
Okay, so what if you have that crispy toast and you put it back in the toaster? Does that become bread again?
It doesn't become bread again. It's still toast.
So when you take that bread out of the toaster for the first time, that's what makes it permanently toast. And
yes, it's permanently toast until you eat it. When you eat it, it stops becoming toast. It becomes gross.
So I guess it is true that all toasters toast.
Yeah, no, it is not. It is not all toasters toast. Bread, Mario, you stupid idiot.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're putting it back in the toaster and it is toast, all toasters toast.
No, that is a... I can't believe I'm going to this. So, according to philosophy, you can have a thing to have a function and not do, like, not all of those things have that function. I explained that very badly. You see, all Pikachu are Pokemon, but not all Pokemon are Pikachu. It's that same thing.
So all toasters toast bread, but not all toasters toast. Not all of them.
Exactly.
So what kind of toasters can toast?
No, they all can toast, but that's not their purpose. That's not what they do.
So all toasters
that is not what they do. No, not all of them. If you don't make a toaster toast, then it doesn't toast. They all can toast, just like my TV has the potential to be broken into fucking 50 million glass shards. But that's not its function. Until I do it, it doesn't do that.
Okay. I never knew you thought so strongly about toast becoming toast.
I have very strong opinions about toast. Almost as much as I have about piss.
He's just drunk out of a yellow bottle. Okay. Okay, so this whole toast thing, there is someone that we know who likes toast. Actually, no, they don't like toast. So someone like them, if they had put bread in the toaster for a very, very short amount of time, it's still very white, it's not even the slightest bit crispy, and they take it out, is that toast or is it still bread?
Well, you see, I don't like that line of thinking.
But is that toast? Because by your definition, you've taken it out of the toaster.
Okay, so no, it is not toast yet.
Okay,
not
so
crispy.
Okay, so how crispy does bread need to get for you to then say that yes, that's toast?
Actually, I have a standard for this. So if you can touch the toast or bread, it depends on what it is, and if it's like very solid, it's not even a little bit like, I don't know how to explain it. Like if it's not squishy, it's not toast. Now, if it's squishy, then it's not toast. It's still bread. It's when it's very solid and rigid. That's when it's toast.
Okay, so my definition, well, not my definition, my requirements for it becoming toast is when it gets crispy. So for you, it's just how hard it is.
Yes, and you have to take it out of the toaster first. Because if you over toast it, that's not toast. That's just carbon.
Okay, so we have similar thoughts then.
I guess.
Because I said crispy. Okay, see, we're not that far apart.
I guess.
So all toasters toast.
No, I already explained this.
Because you can put the toast back in the toaster, and you are.
Well, you can put a fork in the toaster. They don't toast forks, do they?
I mean, they can. It's not recommended.
No, they can't. Like, have you ever watched a toast commercial? And they say, you can also toast a piece of paper. Like, yeah, it can do that. It shouldn't. You shouldn't do that, though. Because you put toast back in the toaster, it's going to come out burnt. That's not toast. That's carbon, like I said.
Yeah, but I mean, let's say you only put it back in for a few seconds.
Well, you're just wasting energy. It's a waste of energy.
Okay, well, I would say move on to the next
what
question,
do you
but it
think?
seems... What do you
Leave your
think?
opinion in the comments!
Oh, God. I feel as if the next question is going to be even worse for discussions.
Oh,
This
no.
one's yours. This question is yours.
I can ask it.
Okay, what's your question?
So it's very controversial. How many holes does a straw have?
It's a very
what do you say about
controversial
that?
one. One.
I thought you'd say that, and that is exactly why my opinion is the opposite.
Okay, explain your thinking.
Okay, no. I want to leave my thinking to the end because that's very complicated. It's a whole chain of events that I need to explain.
God.
So,
Okay,
why do you
right.
think it's one?
Right, so it's one long continuous hole going through the straw, right? So it's a tube. It's one long hole. By comparison, think of a donut. That's one hole. That isn't two holes.
Yes, because the donut is very short. It's very small. It doesn't have like room to breathe.
Yeah, one hole. So
I guess.
if you get that donut and you stretch it to the length of a straw, why does it suddenly become two holes?
That would be a logical thing to say if you could stretch the donut, Libby, but you can't, so...
Well, let's say you make it out of, I don't know, Play-Doh or something, so if a donut is one hole and a straw is two, at what point in length does it become
I'm
two?
I'm gonna backtrack. The donuts are two holes.
Are you only saying that to cover yourself?
If it's paper thin, that's a hole. Because it doesn't have any length to it.
But if you're talking in the third dimension, it does have length. So what's the length required for it to have two holes?
Long enough. Okay.
It's a subjective
Look, I'm not convincing
thing.
you. I'm not convincing you because I haven't gone through my explanation.
Okay, go
It's
for
very
it.
scientific. It's very scientific. Okay, so have you ever seen those online questions that are supposed to trip you up and make you fail and stuff, like those math questions? Not those, but have you seen those?
I think so. I'm thinking captures,
Like those
but it's
that use
probably not
like
those.
no, not those. Like those math questions with the dumb division sign to make you fail and trip. And like some people are like, oh, the question, the answer's 3, and these other people are like the answer's 9.
Yeah.
Like to cause
we
debate.
had a few of
It's
those.
not that, but it's just so you know the type of stuff we're talking about. Have you seen those where it's like a shirt with a hole in the middle?
I think so. I think I've heard. What is it? How many holes?
Yeah, how many holes does a shirt have?
Yeah.
And we as a society have agreed on the answer. When there's a shirt, like a 2D shirt, the image is a 2D shirt. It's not an actual 2D shirt. And there's a hole and you can see through it to the other side. We as a society have collectively decided that the answer is 6. There's 1 in the front, 1 in the back, 2 for the sleeves, 1 for the head, and the other for the body, right?
Right.
There's 6. There's 6 holes in that shirt.
6 holes.
Now, let's remove the holes that were ripped in the shirt. We're going to remove the first one, the one in the front.
I didn't catch the ripped part.
Oh, yeah, a regular shirt without holes would be, we have 4, because we're removing the one from the front and the one from the back. We have 4, the sleeves, the head, and the body, right? Now, let's say I remove one sleeve. We cover it up. We don't remove it. That would just cause another hole. We cover up the sleeve. This shirt doesn't have a sleeve. We remove the hole. There's 3. Let's remove the other sleeve. Cover it up. We removed 1. There's 2. And would you look at that? What's that shape? What's that shape you have there? Very, very straw-like, right? Extremely straw-like. And how many holes are we left with? We're left with 2 holes.
Look, I do agree with that. I do agree that a shirt would have 4 holes.
Yes.
My reasoning, my thinking, I didn't write this down on notes. I'm not actually sure, but my reasoning, my thinking would be it being a continuous hole. If it's one long hole, that's like a tube or a tunnel. That would be one long hole. But a t-shirt isn't really one long continuous thing. But even like you said with patching up the sleeves.
Yes.
I don't know. That part of me says, yeah, that's 2 holes, but I feel as if it's along the lines. I think it's along the lines of a t-shirt has 2 intended holes. You know, one to put your head in, one to put over you. There's 2 holes, but a straw is just one long thing. Its entire purpose is transporting liquid in through one side and one through the other side. It's one long hole.
And the shirt's purpose is to go through solid. I'm
very mixed right now because I agree the shirt has 4, right? I agree with that.
Exactly.
But a straw can only have 1 hole.
And why is that?
Because it's a long continuous hole. It goes from one end to the other. One long continuous hole.
You have one at one end and another at the other end. And then you have like a long space of nothing where you can transport liquid. Makes perfect sense.
Like, I keep going back in my head to the donut analogy that I had. A donut is 1 hole through the center of the donut. 1 hole. It's not 2. And a straw, to me, is 1 hole, just like that donut. The shape is similar.
I see that. I understand that.
A t-shirt, yes, if you remove the sleeves, it's functionally the same. So I don't know why that's 2 holes and not 1. I'm not sure what separates them.
See, the boring answer is that language is stupid and dumb and nothing is consistent. But we're not gonna... That's stupid. Let's not go with that.
We've got some great questions for the very first podcast, I swear.
I can't explain the donut stuff. I'll give you that. Because I don't know if it's because we are used to saying that a donut has 1 hole, but it actually has 2, like one of those things. Or if it actually has 1, for real.
I think it is down to familiarity, yes. What you're used to saying. Like if I had always believed that a donut has 2 holes, maybe my perspective would change. And maybe I'm trying to... Yeah, it's a strange one. It's a strange one. Yeah. The next one as well, though. Ooh.
Oh, the next one.
The next one. Oh. It's a nice one. It's not. It's not.
It is a nice one.
I'm thinking about it, and then I think about it for a split second, and I'm like, yeah, no, it's not. Right. So let's say you have a wooden boat, right? Let's say you have a very nice wooden boat. For anyone watching, I'm trying to put down a boat in Minecraft. There we go. There's a Minecraft boat right there. So let's say you have this boat. You're in the boat. Let's say you have this boat, right? It's an old boat. Yeah. So a lot of the planks are starting to wear thin. They're starting to get all dirty and, the planks need replacing. So what if, one by one, you replace each of those planks from that boat with brand new ones, right? Brand new planks on the boat. And then over time, there are absolutely 0 of those original planks. And with those old planks, the dirty ones, the old ones, you make a replica of the boat. So you have 2 boats. Yes. One which was with the old planks, but had been replaced, and one which has been made entirely out of the old planks. Which boat is the original?
Okay. Yes, that explanation. That was a good explanation. That is. I
feel as if summarizing is not a good idea.
I'm not going to summarize it. That's an actual thought experiment. It's called the Sheep of Theseus. I'm pretty sure.
I think I've heard it once or twice before, but
yeah, there's another version of it. It's called the Lock Socks. If anyone's played Zero Escape, you know where I got that from.
Was it like a goal of yours to mention Zero Escape in this podcast?
It wasn't. I just knew we were going to talk about the Ship of Theseus, and they talk about it in the game. So
fair, okay.
So Lock Socks is basically the same thing. You have a sock, and you keep patching it up. Like it keeps breaking, and you keep patching it up until eventually you have none of the original thread or wool or whatever that you had the original sock made out of. Is this still the same sock? It's the same principle. And the point is that you can't tell. I'm going to say that the original is still the original.
Yeah. So I have 2 opinions on this. One is that, it's the first one, the one that has been replaced. But a side note that I put is probably both of them. So the first boat is pretty much a restoration of what it once was. Sorry, it's a restoration. So it bringing it to life, what it was when it was first made. And the second one is kind of like a preservation of what it looked like before. Well, what it initially looked like, where it was, all ruined and everything. So it depends on how you look at it, because the second one is made with the original one's planks, but the first one, was intended to be the first one. Yeah. So I think I do lean towards the first one.
Yeah, I can see that. I say the first one because it's the first one, like you said. Like, it's still the original one. Even if you replace everything, like everything is greater than the sum of its parts, as people say. So even if you don't have any of the original parts, it's still the same boat, because it's the same continuous boat. Object permanence would dictate that.
I do. Yeah, I agree with that one. It's down to how the first one, was intended to be the original, and it was the one that was made first. Yeah, the planks have been replaced, but it's still the same boat. Yeah, I feel as if you... I feel like it's different. Like, if you had this original boat, excuse me, you had this original boat, and you destroyed it. I broke the boat. And with those broken planks, you repair it from scratch using the same planks.
I would say that's still the original
That's
boat.
Still the same boat, isn't it?
The new one. Yeah.
But what if you replace all of those planks? If you replace all of those planks, then it's a recreation. It's not the same thing. So I feel like it's the same situation with these 2 boats. Yes, you've taken the planks away and you've replaced them, but the replaced one is still the original, I guess.
I would say the original is still the original no matter what. Like, a lot of things function like that. For example, the human body. Like, after 7 years, every single cell in your body is different from the ones you had 7 years ago. And you're still the same person. You didn't change into a different person because of that.
That's very true, actually, yeah. Because your cells are always changing, so your body is not the same as it was, 7, 8 years ago. It's completely different. Like, all of the cells are completely different. No, that's good. I didn't think of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your body is completely different to what it was 7, 8 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's still the same you. So yeah, I like that.
Okay, so we're in agreement about this. About the boat. Should break the fucking boat. Wait, I'm trying to get a boat. Get a boat. Oh, never mind. Why is this so hard? And then you replace all the planks. There's a boat on screen right now. And then you replace the planks and you make a different boat. Let me place the boats.
He's placing 2 Minecraft boats.
I have 2 Minecraft boats.
He has nudged the camera.
Oh. Well, that wasn't intentional. Does it still look good?
It's fine.
This one's still the original, even though the planks are different. Boom. That's it.
I agree with that.
I needed to be enhackment.
I love how we got a really good discussion out of one that we agreed on.
Yeah. And the next one, I don't even think we're going to disagree on the next one. It's just weird.
I think the next one is more or less a thinking experiment as opposed to having opposing views.
I don't think anyone seriously thinks that's correct.
But even so, there's not much else we can say. Do you want to read the question out?
Yeah. This was one of my questions. Can you ever prove that the entire universe wasn't created last Thursday?
Which is a really good question.
Yeah, it's called Last Thursdayism, by the way. That's an actual thing.
Is that what it was called? Last Thursdayism.
Sometimes Last Wednesdayism. It doesn't matter what the day of the week is. It's the same thing.
So the overall concept is, what if all of your memories before last Thursday were just fake memories that were just given to you?
Exactly. And everything in the universe just kind of spawned the way it is.
Everything
last Thursday.
Everything is a simulation. It's not real. Which I guess
it doesn't even need to be a simulation. It can just be like, that's how universes are made.
That's how universes are made.
Specifically with those things.
Given false memories. But it does tie into something, though. So I don't know if this is only a me thing, but sometimes when I try and think about things that happened in the past, it has a certain feeling to it. As if, did that really happen? But not in a kind of, I'm forgetting things kind of feeling. It's more or less
reverse deja vu.
It's not really deja vu.
No,
it just feels kind of strange.
It's deja vu is usually you think something that hasn't happened before is happening, and that's thinking that something that has happened hasn't actually happened.
What if deja vu is just these false memories bugging out?
I hear that a lot. I mean, technically true. Your brain is bugging out.
But no, sometimes, I thinking of things that happened in the past, it has a weird feeling to it, as if, I know that it happened, but it just feels kind of strange in a way. It's really weird to explain. I'm not sure how to explain it, but no,
I don't think I've ever gotten that.
It's weird to explain. I'm not really sure how. It's a tricky one.
Don't worry about that. That's just a simulation bugging. We'll get it fixed next patch. Don't worry.
No, it's just really weird to explain. I was doing a thing earlier today. I did a bit of traveling, but thinking back to where I was earlier, earlier today, it feels strange. I know it happened because it was earlier today. my memory's not that bad, but it has a weird feeling to it. But I don't know. It's I'm not sure how to explain my weird brain.
I'm not sure into the
camera. It probably doesn't relate at all. It just came to mind.
Yeah. It was related. It just doesn't relate. Those are different things. I said. I decided. But yeah, the whole point of the thing of Last Thursdayism. That's a very stupid name. I don't know how that got on. The whole point is that you can't prove it wrong because everything could just be fabricated. It's like those theories about shows and games where it's like, oh, everything was just a dream, and you can't prove it wrong because anything that you might say to prove it wrong, they're just like, oh, that's part of the dream. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, there's very little to do.
It's the same concept, except for
it's similar to life being a simulation. You can't prove otherwise.
Yeah, you cannot prove
it
otherwise, and that's kind of the point. Like, you can just be like, oh, dinosaur bones, those were just, like, left there last Thursday when you spawned in with all that stress you had because of the exam next week.
It was a world generation bug.
World generation bug. But yeah, the only argument you can really say against this is, like, I forgot the name of the property or whatever the hell that is. Like, the concept. It's like Occam's razor or something. It's like the thing that says that in the absence of evidence, the thing that requires the least amount of logical leaps is usually true. And saying that everything was created last Thursday is a big fucking logical leap. That's the only way to justify it, I guess.
So we've been trying to make notes for all of these questions just so we have something to say. This one here, I have barely anything outside of a reference to a game that I'm not going to mention. Like,
that is so stupid, and they don't explain it.
They don't. There's so many gaps in that. It ties in perfectly to the next question. Which we're done with these weird debate questions. We're moving on to our game questions. So we have two.
Gaming.
They're just two general game questions. These aren't like big logical questions. Like, I don't know, how many holes does a straw have or anything. These are just, just game questions. Yeah. Really?
You can't answer these with two.
I messed up with my camera.
Oh,
I done the thing.
What?
It's
no.
Sometimes when I tab back in, so I have 2 instances of Minecraft open right now. So that's how we're recording this. We have one account, which is the camera. That's the one you're looking through right now, any people watching. And then I have the, me. So I just had to scroll on my notes, and then I tabbed back in, but it tabbed into the wrong instance of Minecraft. It's fine. I do need to make a very quick adjustment. Anyone who's watching, I'm sorry about this. I want it to look very professional, but this is my very first time doing a podcast, so it's not going to be brilliant.
Oh, it's fine. If you just put a grayscale filter over it and a very poor audio quality, everyone's like, haha, that's funny, and it's not very professional anymore.
I'll make it funny. It's fine. Anyone who's watching, listening instead of watching, it's fine.
This was planned, actually.
This was planned to happen.
Everything was planned to happen. We rehearsed this 6 months ago, actually.
Okay, right. Lion, I want to ask you this question. If you could wipe all memories of a game to start brand new again, with absolutely no memories of the game, just completely fresh playing, which game?
Okay, so I know what you probably think I'm going to say, and that's wrong. For anyone who doesn't know, it's no secret that I'm a big fan of the Ace Attorney series. Mm-hmm. Like, a massive fan. And I think you were expecting me to say an Ace Attorney game, but I'm actually going to say no. None of the Ace Attorney games I would like to wipe my memory to re-experience again. Because half of the joy I get from the series is knowing everything that happens and watching other people play or reanalyzing stuff and being like, holy shit, that's because of that. It's fun. That's the most fun I get from the series.
I get
and wiping my memory would make for a cool experience again, but it wouldn't. I guess the closest thing to a game in the Ace Attorney series I would like to wipe my memory to re-experience again is Ace Attorney Investigations 2, because that's a wild ride. Okay. But I still wouldn't do it. I wouldn't trade the first playthrough I had for the world.
No, I get that entirely.
The games I would actually wipe my memory. That sounds so bad. I want to delete my memory. The ones that would wipe my memory is, to an extent, not fully, Breath of the Wild. Ooh, because the most fun you get from Breath of the Wild is just experiencing it for the first time.
Definitely.
Because after you know a bunch of stuff, it's still fun. It's just not as fun. Yeah. Which is why Tears of the Kingdom is very exciting. It hasn't released yet. That's at the time of recording, by the way.
Yeah, I'm probably going to be uploading this in a few days when it still hasn't released. But
yeah,
I am so hyped for Tears of the Kingdom.
After
Lion here has been avoiding pretty much every single trailer.
I know.
So I'm trying so hard to not obsess over it in front of him. There's been multiple times in calls where I just started singing the main theme, and I just have to shut myself up because I know that will evolve. That will evolve into me talking about it.
Oh, true. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, you can't tell because you've avoided the trailers.
I mean, I watched the first gameplay showcase, I guess.
Fair.
Like, that's the last thing I watched. Anything else that's released after I did.
You've missed, like, the massive trailer. Did you see the, so before Breath of the Wild came out, did you see that one big trailer, like the last one before launch?
I did.
You did.
It was a good trailer.
All I'll say is that the Tears of the Kingdom one is, like, pretty much the same kind of feeling. Like, it has a huge impact.
Oh.
It's, like, possibly one of the best trailers I've ever seen. It's such a good trailer.
I really don't want to spoil myself, though.
Yeah,
it probably has stuff that I can experience in the game and be like, oh my god, that's in the game, I didn't know.
Yeah, there are some things in that which is like, oh, what? That's happening? Okay. Yeah, so if you've gone this long, yeah, don't.
Yeah, I won't. But yeah, Breath of the Wild, for sure. There's other games that I would like to just fucking delete off my memory so I can play again with no remorse. Another one, you're gonna laugh. And not because it's bad, you're just gonna laugh.
Okay, good.
Is Ghost Trick Phantom Detective coming to modern platforms on July 31st, or is it 1st? One of the two. July.
I didn't know Benji was here.
Look, Ghost Trick is just special. It's a standalone game. For starters, like you don't have to experience like 10 games to get the whole story. It's just one game. It wraps itself up perfectly. It has a bunch of twists. The puzzles are clever, and I can't re-experience them again because I know the solutions. The only ones I forgot are like end game puzzles, and I'm looking forward to playing them again when the remaster comes out because I won't remember them.
That is fair. But I mean, to be fair, I do kind of want to play it.
Story. You should.
I have heard it's very good. Maybe. I don't know.
But yeah, you should play it. You should play it at least.
I most likely will play it at some point, just in case of when. But yeah I don't know. It sounds good from the very little I've heard, but I haven't actually gotten into it just yet. But
it's special. It's a special thing. And the other game that I would also like to experience, which is a recent one, like Breath of the Wild and Ghost Trick, I've played and experienced like a long time ago. Not that long time ago, I guess, but like more than 2 years, more than 3 years. But I would like to re-experience Omori, even though I only played it for the first time a few months ago. Yes.
Okay, I mean, yeah, that's another game I'm still yet to play. That's another game
you haven't played.
The three games that people keep telling me to play that I haven't. There's Omori, there's Ghost Trick, and there is, what was it? One Shot.
What was it?
Those three.
Oh, One Shot, yeah.
Those three. I've been told so much to play.
I already have my memory of One Shot, so I can play it.
I know a couple little things from when Sean played it for the first time, but I don't know that much. I know the main
gimmick, which I'm not going to spoil, because even though I don't remember anything, it's very good. Go play it. But yeah, Omori, because Omori made me feel things that the game hasn't made me feel ever. It made me cry more than any game ever.
Oh. Okay, so it's a lot more than I thought that I've been told that it was then.
Yeah, you might not relate as much. I mean, I don't relate to a lot of stuff. That's a good thing that I don't relate to a lot of stuff. But the few things that I relate made me cry, made me bawl my eyes out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like I've been told barely anything about it. I've seen like one screenshot, and the only thing that someone has told me is that it's depressed Undertale.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Anyway, what kind of games would you like delete off your memory?
Right.
I guess if you have that prepared.
I do.
Great.
So, I don't have a super long answer like you do. But these two games have had such an impact on me in terms of both the story and just the experience overall that I want to do it again. First off, I think a lot of people will pick this one, Undertale. 100% Undertale. Because that game was amazing. Especially for your first time playing. When you're doing all the routes for the first time, and the game doesn't need an introduction. If you haven't played Undertale, play it. It's amazing.
Like if you somehow have not been spoiled on Undertale, You're a lucky soul, and you should go play it right now.
How have you not been spoiled on Undertale if that person is out there?
That's how I feel like anytime I see someone say, "Oh, I've never been spoiled." How? Were you not alive in 2016?
I mean, to be fair, all I knew going into it was everything involving Sans.
Yeah,
I knew nothing else. Literally, not even another character, just Sans.
I mean, that's fair.
And I played it in like 2019. I think 2018, 2019. I played it late, but it had such an impact on me.
I remember that.
Very late. But like, it had such an impact on me. The story was so good. I want to play it again for the first time.
It is.
Like, I've tried replaying it, but like, it's not the same. When you know what's happening and you know what actions make a difference, and the story, and just it's not the same after your 20th playthrough.
That's why I usually watch YouTube Let's Plays of Undertale, because you can get that feeling of wonder again, because the person who's playing doesn't know.
That's true, actually.
It's a different feeling.
That's true, to be fair.
I live vicariously through a lot of people when I play games.
Oh yeah, I get that completely. Okay. Let me just quickly hydrate. I need to.
I was going to say something about Undertale. I forgot. Oh yeah, I respect. You were talking about Undertale's story. I respect Undertale's story a lot. Not only do I like it, I respect its approach to it, because there's a lot of stuff that it doesn't spell out to you. You kind of have to look out for it.
Yeah,
you won't get the main plot unless you care.
Yeah, and I love that. Like, my first time playing, I got the gist of it. Like, I understood roughly what was going on. Yeah. But the more I played, it just became so much more clear. The game in general does things that I've seen no other game do. It's very, very unique.
It is.
I love that. And it completely changed everything for me. I love that game.
It is awesome.
Such an impact on me. Another one
I'm looking forward. Oh, yep.
No, go on. Go on.
I was going to say it's why I'm looking forward to more Deltarune, because I know even if it doesn't hit half as hard as Undertale did, it's still going to hit very hard. Yeah, that's how hard Undertale hits.
It's definitely a completely different vibe, Deltarune, but it's still incredible.
Yeah.
It goes.
There's already themes that Undertale has not explored, and I'm curious to how they're going to develop.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the later chapters. 2 was amazing. I love Chapter 2.
Yeah.
So good.
Chapter 2 is also my favorite between the two.
Yeah, the first one did seem a bit more of an experiment kind of thing.
Yeah, I guess.
It was still very good. It was still awesome. I loved it.
Yeah.
Chapter 2. Oh, Spamton. I love Spamton. Spamton alone.
Spamtong.
Spamtong.
Spamtong. Anyway, second game.
Yeah, the second game. Now, anyone who knows me knows how much this series had an impact on me.
Say it.
Danganronpa.
Wow. What a shocker.
Look, on the surface, if you don't know anything about the series, it doesn't sound like it's anything more than simple little murder mystery game, and very little more than that. But there is so much to it.
Yeah.
The story is very well written. There's one game which is really yikes. Thankfully, it's just a spin-off. So you don't necessarily need to play it. You can just watch a summary of it. But the 3 main games were so well done. The third one, hit or miss. But the first 2...
True.
Overall, the whole murder mystery side of things was really good. There's a lot of hand-holding in that, but that's fine for me because I'm not great at puzzles and those things.
I have come to respect hand-holding in murder mysteries. Because there's always going to be that one... Either you hand-hold and people are annoyed, or you don't hand-hold and even more people are annoyed because you're
exactly.
Oh, how was I supposed to know that?
My first time playing the first game, I had everything on the easiest. And my first time playing the second game, I had everything on the hardest, and I was just fine. But no, it's one of those series where it's a specific taste. There is a huge list of content warnings to consider.
True.
Massive list. But if you can handle them, the series itself is amazing. There's so many twists in there. You have to think a lot. Even though the murder mysteries themselves have a lot of hand-holding, there is, in each game, there's like a bigger picture. Like there's always the case of, okay, why are we here in the first place? And that's like the bigger picture, which, throughout the entire playthrough, you're just trying to figure out what's going on. And just, it's so well designed. The music's also really good. I love the music. And I'm crazy for game music.
I will say the murder mystery aspect of it is usually very well put together.
It's very well put together. Like there's so many
because
there's a couple which are a little bit hit or miss.
Same thing goes for Ace Attorney, so I won't say on it.
I mean, even like the worst cases, they're still not terrible. There's one which is but it's even actually not that bad. But it's just overall everything is so well put together. It's so well designed. It all comes together in the end. It's amazing. The overall story as well. Just I love it so much. Like replaying for the very first time again. I would love that so much. But yeah, Undertale and Danganronpa for me personally.
Yeah, those are fair picks.
Like I can't really think of any other game which would have a massive impact. There's obviously things like, I don't know, Minecraft, which, I've put
I don't know if I would
hours
enjoy playing Minecraft for the first time again.
I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to.
I wouldn't know how to do anything. That's not fun.
And that ties into the next question.
Oh.
You can finish. You can finish what you're saying. But...
No, that was pretty much it. Just I wouldn't know what to do. That's not fun.
Yeah.
Not as fun, at least.
I'm going to stop my discussion because it's going to be brought up again in the next question, which is Lion's question, so we can read it out.
Yeah, my question, which is a very complex question now that I think about it. It's basically, what is the worst thing about your favorite game, and what is the best thing about your least favorite game? I thought to bring some positivity into the mix. It's like saying, what's the worst thing about your favorite game? That's going to be very negative.
I mean, should I go first or should you go first? I just had a long ramble about Danganronpa, so if you want to go for it.
Oh, true. You're going to have another ramble about Danganronpa.
Actually, not Danganronpa. It's not my favorite game. It's not in this.
Oh, true. Yeah, I should have picked up on that. Talk about Minecraft. Okay, so I actually struggled to find a least favorite game. Let me be completely honest. Like most games, even if I won't replay them, I at least enjoy them a bit when I'm playing. Like there's nothing that makes me go, oh, I hate that. I am going to burn that, and no one should ever get to play. No, I haven't played something like that yet. Like I guess. The one that I wrote here, which is not my least favorite game, because I barely played it. I played like 5 minutes of it.
Right.
It's like, I can't get into Earthbound. I've tried many times. I just can't get into it. And like, I hear it's good. It's probably good. I just can't get into it. I guess that's my issue. I can't get into it.
I feel like I'll be the same. Like, I haven't actually tried to pick up and play it. But I haven't wanted to. I know Undertale takes a lot of inspiration from it, like a massive amount of inspiration from it. But just looking at the game, it just doesn't seem like something I would enjoy. I don't know.
I think I would enjoy it. I can't get into it. I tried the same for Mother's 3, which is like everyone's favorite game ever. And I also can't. I don't know what it is about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I already complained too much about it. From the little that I played from both games, it's the same things that everyone says is great. Like the dialogue, the expressions, the personality, the overall charm of the game is like firing in all cylinders all the time. Like it's great. Like what I might do one day is just I watched a YouTube Let's Play of it or something because I don't have to play it and I can just experience all the charm the world has. Like, I don't know.
I'm going to get a lot of hate for saying this because I know that the fans of this game in particular can be very passionate. I feel exactly the same way about Twilight Princess.
Of course you'd say that.
No, I first tried playing it like a year ago. I played it for like a couple of hours, but then I tried playing it again like last week, and I can't get into it, like at all. Like I don't enjoy it. Now,
that is fair.
The Zelda series as a whole, I adore it. It's amazing, but Twilight Princess in particular, I can't. I mean, Ocarina as well. I can't get into that one either. But that ties into something else I'm going to say in a second. But
there's just a difference. It's slightly different enough for you to not like be able to get into it as someone who likes both of those games.
I guess. I don't know. So I'll say my least favorite first because it ties into it. But I don't specifically have a least favorite game. So what I've put down, it's not like my least favorite thing of all time, but most N64 games have aged absolutely terribly.
I mean, that is a take.
It's definitely a take which people will not agree with, and I will completely understand that. I know that a lot of N64 games have had such an impact on people, and also the franchises they're from. Like, it really set up like Mario and Zelda, for instance. I know Ocarina of Time and Mario 64 were like massive games that completely pushed the series forward, and I understand that. Me, personally, I cannot play Mario 64. I've never finished it. I've got about halfway
really?
in.
You ever finished it?
I never finished it. I got about halfway in.
I got 120 stars.
Well, I can't. I got
fair.
I got about the same distance in on 64 DS as well. I think it's just the games in general, but Ocarina of Time, I can't do the first dungeon. It's not a case of
really
difficulty. No, it's just to me, the controls suck. I really can't get used to the controls.
I respectfully disagree. The Ocarina of Time has a bunch of problems, and I don't think the controls are one of them. Like, I guess if it had a second stick, it would be better, I think. But that's the only thing. And that's the N64 controller's fault, not the game.
I mean, I tried playing it on the Switch emulator, which doesn't really help. I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
I do have an N64, so I could try and get the game. But, like, I just feel it's the game in general that I just can't really get into.
That is fair.
For me, anyway, like, the few N64 games I don't have that many, because I don't really have any, like, nostalgia for the N64 as a console. I just don't. But yeah. I have Mario 64, Banjo-Kazooie, and what was the other one? GoldenEye. Mario 64, I played a little bit of it, like I said. Banjo-Kazooie was fine, but overall it's not really a game that I can really get into. I'm a bit weird with games. GoldenEye, the controls are terrible. I hated it.
I've never played GoldenEye.
Imagine playing a first-person game on a controller with no camera stick. That's what it is. I'm sure at the time, if that's the only thing that you're used to, it would be great. But these days, probably. When you're used to playing first-person games with a camera stick, not having that is the worst thing ever.
Yeah, I've never played GoldenEye. I've heard two opinions on GoldenEye, which is it's the best goddamn game ever, and it sucks. It's horrible.
There's no in between.
Poorly. There's no in between. But anyway, like, which one of those is like your least favorite, quote unquote? Since it's not actually your least favorite. And what is the best thing about it?
Well, I don't. Yeah, so I don't specifically have a least favorite. I just put most N64 games as just something to criticize. But the thing that I will say is really good is not about the games themselves, it's about what it's done for the franchises.
Fair.
Like I said before, like Mario 64 pushed the entire series forward. Zelda Ocarina of Time, for most people, is still their favourite Zelda, however many years later. What other N64 games were that impactful? I don't know. I don't know much about the console. But those two series alone, had huge impact. Yeah. So I guess I will give it that. It was influential. People still love it. But it's just not something I can really get into.
Fair. That is completely fair.
Worst thing about my favorite, though. So my favorite game, Minecraft, I've put. Yeah. I don't know how many hours. I would guess over 5,000.
Jesus Christ.
Probably more.
Holy fuck.
I've been playing for like 11 years. And it's like the main thing I play. But this really applies. Actually, no, this applies to Minecraft as a whole. It's terrible to learn.
Yeah.
Imagine trying to learn Minecraft without watching somebody else play. Most people who play Minecraft has watched somebody else play. I watched a video on this like a year or so ago, but it was like someone trying. Actually, I forgot who it was, but they were trying to like figure out like how hard the game is to learn for a new player. And something as simple as going into the Nether, a brand new player would never figure that out. Ever.
Oh, true. Never even thought of that. I mean, I guess they have like the destroyed Nether portals. And you're
they have those now. But even including those, the portal frames include crying obsidian, which don't make the portal. A new player would not think to remove those blocks.
Yeah.
And aside from that, you also wouldn't think to light it with flint and steel. There's nothing about that tells you to light it on fire.
Yeah.
Nothing.
That is true.
So yeah, maybe if you're just trying a bunch of things to get it to light up, maybe you will. But as a new player, what tells you that it's even a portal to begin with? Nothing.
Yeah.
It just looks like a random rectangle. Like, you can't tell what it is. But something simple as that.
I agree 100% with everything you're saying. I'm just going to bring the opposite perspective, because if I don't, and someone sees this, they're going to yell. They are going to scream. I know what some of you might have to say.
People are very passionate.
Even though I agree with Libby. Like, some people say that the lack of a tutorial is what made the game for them at first. Like, they joined, they played the game for the first time. They were trying to survive that first night with like the wiki open and like panicking, and that's a good core memory for them. I get that. I also get that like it encourages talking to other people and like figuring stuff out. But still, like the game needs a proper tutorial. It kind of has that now with like crafting the crafting book or whatever. It's still not a tutorial. It's just a way for you to see stuff without having to resort to Google. And like a thing I've heard, it's mostly for puzzle design, but a thing I've heard about game design is that the moment your players feel compelled to open up Google, you failed.
Yeah, I do mostly agree with that. Like, it does seem like they are making it easier for new players. Like, they have like, the things popping up in the corner, and the achievements do kind of help you a bit. The advancements. The game itself is getting easier to understand for new players, but it's still got a long way to go. The console edition. I know some people. The console edition tutorial worlds were amazing.
I never played them, but they sound like they were probably good.
I mean.
From what I've seen.
I feel like they weren't as great as people say they were. They were still very good.
Nostalgia.
Yeah, nostalgia. But the opening thing where it tells you the very basics, where it tells you how to use the controls, that's good. But it also tells you that you need to survive the night. That's the thing. That's good to know. But I do agree with what you said, where it's like surviving your first night is a very cool memory to have.
It is.
I don't specifically remember my first night, but I do remember like me.
Because when I first played, I only played on like creative. I didn't.
Oh
care.
yeah, same. I played on a lot of servers, but like doing your first survivor world, like, and not really knowing what you're doing, is a nice memory. But I do still feel as if it's better to actually know what you're doing.
Yeah. I know what some people might say. It's like, oh, you don't know what to do. Just skill issue, get good. You're the problem.
That's the problem.
You are the problem.
Kind of scaring away people wanting to learn.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, I feel
like some people might take that as a challenge. Most people won't. They'll just stop playing.
Exactly. But no, I am glad they are making it easier to learn, but it's still got a long way to go. Another problem with the game, which isn't as big of a problem, but it is still a problem for people who play a lot of survival, the inventory. I don't specifically know what the problem is, aside from you run out of inventory space a lot. If you're running around in a brand new survival world, you're gathering materials, that's fine. You don't really run out of inventory space. But let's say you're doing a big build. You run out of space very easily. Yeah, you have shulker boxes, but then you have to place them, you have to open it, you have to put back in what you don't need and take out what you do. It's just a whole mess. I know for a fact Mojang are really like trying to fix this. Like they, they've tried to work on bundles. It's still a work in progress after 4 or 5 updates, but I know the problem for bundles is down to parity with Pocket Edition, mobile even.
Yeah.
The controls need to make sense. But the inventory problem is a problem for certain players, not everyone. So
that's a fair problem to have. I personally don't have it. I think inventory management is part of the game, I guess. Like, like, for me to complain, not other people. Like, if other people have an issue, that's fair and that's valid. Yeah. But me specifically, complaining, if I were to complain about the inventory management aspect, it's like complaining about having to kill mobs to go to the end. Like, that's part of the core gameplay loop of the end. Of the game. Like,
Yeah. I don't know.
Like, it's part of the game. It's in its DNA, I guess. And it's not something you need to give a tutorial to. You just open the inventory, it's there, you can see it. This is how much space you have.
I do feel as if bundles would solve a lot of the problems with the clutter.
Yeah, it would. Like the fact that most people have an issue with it means it's an issue with the game. I'm just like one of the few people who don't care.
That's fair. But no, my last problem with Minecraft is just a Java thing. The performance is terrible. The performance is really not great.
It is.
I know they're fixing a big problem with the lighting engine in 120.
Yeah, I heard that too.
So that should really help with performance. But overall,
I hope so.
You can't really have more than like 16 chunks without the game lagging. Whereas you can compare to Bedrock, you can probably have like 1200 or something and it's just fine. It handles it perfectly fine. Okay, I think that's it for that question. We've rambled about Minecraft quite a lot.
I didn't mention my least favorite thing about my favorite game though.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Yeah, it's very concise. It's just Ace Attorney is
I just had to quickly do a thing. Someone was knocking on my door. Lion was midway through talking about... Muted, by the way. Thank you. Trust me.
Okay, as I was saying.
Yes, as you were saying.
It's very concise. It's not a lot. Ace Attorney has a lot of like moments that are just didn't age well. Much like Danganronpa, I would say Danganronpa does. Ace Attorneys get a lot worse, but there's a lot less of them. There's not as many.
That's
that
fair.
Makes sense.
I haven't seen much of Ace Attorney, but like, I know Danganronpa really tries to push itself a bit too far sometimes. Like it tries to delve into things that it probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
Don't know what it's like with Ace Attorney though.
It's a lot of stuff I don't really feel comfortable just talking about unless it's just right in front of me and I'm forced to do it.
Yeah, that's fine. I get that.
There's a few there's stuff that's, you know, general, like this is a game made in Japan in 2001 or 2002. Like there's some stuff here that did not, it's not good. It's not great. If it was made today, it wouldn't exist. And the proof I have is that the Ace Attorney games that I made more recently don't have any of that. I mean, I guess the Great Ace Attorney, it has one thing. It's not as yikes. It's just like not funny. Just straight up not funny. It's not offensive. It's just not funny.
That's fair. Yeah, I guess foresight would have helped, but what can I do?
Yeah, it's still very bad, but I can't really do anything about it. One thing that like another like bad thing about Ace Attorney that a lot of people nag on about. Not nag on, because it's an actual... If a lot of people, like I said before, if a lot of people have an issue with it, it's probably an actual issue, and I'm just like the outlier doesn't care. But a lot of people talk about like the logic leaps in the game. So like the core gameplay loop sometimes is not immediately obvious. And for the most part, I don't see it. Like sometimes, there's something that I'm a bit like, okay, that's iffy, that's a bit stupid. But for the most part, when people are like, oh, you don't have to present the banana, you have to present the picture of the banana. That doesn't happen. That doesn't fucking happen. That never happens. That's not a thing.
Aggressively screams about bananas.
Anyway, that's pretty much all I had to say.
I do really want to get into Ace Attorney. I got to like the third case in the first game, and that's it. But
we didn't even start the third case.
While we are here, still on this question, I'm aware. Not my favourite game, but it's still up there. There's one really thing that bugs me a lot about Breath of the Wild.
Oh.
When you have to go into the Yiga hideout. In games, I despise any form of stealth. I hate it. And if the punishment for not being stealthy is almost guaranteed death, which it is in those cases, I hate it. Every second of it. In my recent playthrough, I did not go into the Yiga hideout until I had like 10 ancient arrows just to skip it all. Because I hated every second of it.
I haven't played it since 2017, but
For anyone who doesn't know, there's like a section where you have to like sneak through a kind of base to get an item in Breath of the Wild. And the enemies in this base, they are very tough to kill. very tough. And there's like one room with like 10 of them. Like, you have to pretty much dodge every single attack because they will insta-kill you. You're supposed to, like, stealth around them and kill them from behind. If you, like, attack them from behind, they'll die, like, immediately. But, like, it's very hard to do that because they are, like, there's so many of them.
I remember enjoying it because it's about learning the layout of the place, and I thought that was fun. But I haven't played it in a while, so I can't really say.
That's fair. I don't know. I'm just not really...
But yeah, I think that's all for gaming.
That's it for gaming after chatting about half an hour. We spent about as long on the game questions as the other ones, and there were half as many.
I don't think we're going to spend as long in the next few ones.
Yeah. These just, so we're done with the game questions now. We're moving on to the two kind of general, more personal kind of questions. Just potential mini story time, I guess. So my question, have you ever broken a bone?
This is going to be very quick. No.
You haven't broken a bone?
Never. I've never really got injured. Like, seriously injured. Yeah.
Were you wrapped in bubble wrap?
I'm not very adventurous. I'm just built different. I drink milk. I drink a lot of milk. I don't break bones.
I don't drink enough milk. I'm just drinking this inconspicuous yellow liquid.
Anyway. I never really got injured ever. Like the only thing I remember when I was trying to come up with stuff that might count is like one time when I was 5, I shoved up a bunch of like toilet paper up my nose and I had to go to the hospital to get it out. That's it.
That sounds like the most you thing to do.
Oh my god.
Okay, I mean, I have a long list of injuries.
Oh my god.
I only have 2 written down. But there have been many. Editing Libby here. I'm about to go into detail on some injuries. If that bothers you, that's okay. Just skip ahead about 8 minutes or so, and then move on to the next question. So, one time where I don't think I've ever actually broken a bone, but I think this time actually like got me very close to. Like to the point where my bone was apparently showing in this injury. Apparently.
What?
I was like 7. I don't remember this very well. Right. So when I was like 7, I was at school. And I don't know what led to me doing this. But I was... Right, so I need to try and paint the picture a little bit. And I'm terrible at painting pictures. But we had these 2 fire doors, right? Big double door fire doors, very, very heavy doors. And you open them up. They open to the outside. And behind those doors is a brick wall. So, the door opens and the handle touches that brick wall, right? I don't know what led to me doing this. This was the dumbest thing 7-year-old Libby done. I stood behind that door and I held my hand out. That fire door swung open, and the metal handle crushed my finger.
Why?
Against the brick wall.
Why would you do that?
I don't know why I done it. There were 2 people. I don't know if they were friends or not. I don't remember. Probably not. But I think they kind of egged me on to do it. I don't really remember it very well. I think they actually did, because I think I remember them getting suspended after that. Bear in mind they were 7.
Yeah. Thanks.
But I just remember having ice on my very bloody finger.
Ooh.
And then going to the hospital with an ice cream in my other hand.
You remember the ice cream specifically?
I remember the ice cream specifically. It was orange flavoured. It was very nice.
Oh my god.
I don't remember my bone being visible, but apparently it was. That's what I've been told. Yeah.
Wow.
I think that's the closest I've got to breaking a bone. I do have one other story. I'm trying to think. There's one more, but I don't know if I should say it.
That's fair.
But there is
Don't overshare.
there is one. I think I was like 8 or 9. This wasn't that much later. I just crossed a road, going to the shop. Crossed the road and decided to start running. Tripped, and the ground was very gravelly, very much gravel, and the rocks, they were very sharp, and I grazed my knee. And now this wasn't an ordinary graze. This was quite a deep graze. He just placed a gravel block.
I had to.
But like the stones were very sharp, and the kind of graze on my knee was very deep. Wow. It really hurt to put any pressure on that leg for like a week. It was very painful.
Ow.
It hurt a lot. Little funny story. There was like this kind of like water gun we had, but it wasn't really a water gun. It was like it was like a little pipe kind of thing, and you would squeeze the pipe.
Yeah.
It was like a long tube pretty much, and kind of pushing the tube did shoot water out. I used this long tube thing as a walking stick for a week.
Yeah. Was that bad?
No, it wasn't that bad. I was just being overly dramatic. I could walk on it just fine, but I thought it was funny to do that. I was like 7 or 8. It was fine. I could walk on it. It just hurt a lot. I mean, yeah, there's one story which wasn't that bad. I don't know if... right. I was bouncing on a trampoline, right?
That's why you were overthinking whether or not you should say.
Maybe. I was bouncing on a trampoline. Lion. I was like 5.
Look, you said the thing. You didn't say your age yet. It was fair game.
Okay, fair. Okay, well, I was bouncing on this trampoline on a bouncy ball. It was like a space hopper thing. I don't really know if that's a specific thing, but it was like basically a little ball that you'd sit on. It'd be very bouncy normally. I decided to combine the bounciness with a trampoline to see what would happen.
Oh, that's a very smart idea.
Yeah, instead of going up, I went backwards into a thorn bush. I don't know why the trampoline was next to a thorn bush, but it was. And I went back very fast, and it was very painful.
Oh.
I have more injuries, but I'm gonna save them for maybe another time. I went through 3.
Yeah, you went through 3 injuries. Meanwhile, I have nothing. Like, I remembered when you were talking about the fire door story. Like, there was this one time where I was with my dad next to our car. We had just, like, gotten home. And I was just resting my hands on the car. And it was in the... Fuck, I forgot what that's called in English. Like, the back door. Like, the one for the...
I guess the boot. I guess the boot.
I guess. And, like, my dad closed it without realizing that my hand was on it. And it hurt. A lot.
Yeah, I think that's happened once. No, it's not. I've never had it slammed in a car door, but I've had it slammed in a normal door. Not a fire door, a normal door. And it hurts a lot. I've been hit by a car once.
What? Okay, let's save that one for another time, because it's probably...
Actually, content. I think it was twice.
What?
I think there were 2 separate times.
That is content. Whoa! You should check out episode 49 for those.
I also stepped on an oven hob.
What the fuck? How are you alive? You're the one who needs bubble wrap. Like what?
I'm trying to think of this quick fire round of more that's happened, but there's definitely more. Definitely lots more. That's what's coming to mind.
Okay, that's something.
Anyway, that's it for the injury question. Do you want to go for your question? It's a bit more sane.
Okay. My question is about it's It's more sane. It's safer too. You can't get hurt. Actually, you can if you're sleepwalking. So, what's the weirdest dream you've ever had?
Weirdest dream. Do you want to go
Weirdest
first?
dream.
Because I have just overshared a lot.
Sure, I can go first. I don't know. It's probably not as interesting. I can explain some of them specifically. And I say some of them, it's the same dream. What happened was, throughout like an entire night, I kept waking up inside dreams, fully aware that I was dreaming.
Oh, lucid
dreaming. It
dreaming.
was so insane. Yeah, not just lucid dreaming. Lucid dreaming has happened to me a couple of times. Like, there was this one time, like the first time I lucid dreamed, I was in a hotel room. Like, me and my family were on vacation. And, like, I went to sleep, obviously. I was dreaming. I was in a barn with a bunch of people I don't know. We were all in this circle. We were doing something. And then I was like, I wonder how I got here. And then I, like, traced back my steps to how I got there. And I was like, okay, so then I laid in bed. And then, holy shit. This is a dream. It's not real. And then I woke up.
Lucid dreaming is awesome. It's happened like once before.
It is.
Once or twice before. No, I don't have any cool stories of it, but anyway, go on.
Yeah, most of the time I just wake up anytime I realize.
Yeah.
I wish I could just keep doing whatever. But yeah, this time I realized I was dreaming. I think the dream, I don't remember what the dream was when I realized, but I realized, I was like, oh, I'm dreaming. And then I did the thing where I wake myself up for some reason, even though I probably should want to keep being in the dream. I woke up, I got out of bed, I went to the kitchen in my house, and then there were two, like, old women there who I don't know. And I was like, what is going on here? What the hell? And they just acted like it was normal. Like, it's normal for them to be there. And I'm like, what is going on? I just didn't acknowledge it. I went to get, like, breakfast. And then I realized, wait a second, this isn't real. This is still not real. I woke myself up again. It happened again. I don't remember what this one was. It happened like 10 times. I kept waking up to another dream. There was this one with a rooster in the living room. I was chasing a rooster in the living room for some reason. There was this one, and that's the craziest one. That is the dumbest one.
What was the feeling when you finally woke up?
I'll say it in a bit. But this is the last one that I remember out of that batch. I was in my middle school with friends, and we were running away from a giant disembodied head of the supervisor of the school.
What?
It was just there. Like, the supervisor was just there, and he was a giant floating head.
A giant floating
and, like,
head.
I told I didn't think it was strange because I knew I was dreaming at that point. And I was like, I turned to my friends and I was like, no, I'm dreaming, right? You're not real. And, like, instead of overreacting, they were like, oh, cool. And then they didn't acknowledge it for the rest of the dream.
You just get told you're not real and just act as if nothing has happened.
Yeah. And then when I finally woke up, I was like, oh my god, this is real. Oh my god, I woke up. It's actually real life. I can actually go eat like I was going to do when I first woke up.
Did you question it at any point?
I didn't, because, like, when you're dreaming, it feels real, but when it's real, you know for sure it's real.
Yeah,
like, you
that's
don't
fair.
overthink it.
You definitely know for sure when something is actually real.
Yeah.
That's fair. For some,
Yeah, that was the craziest one.
Yeah.
In my notes, I just wrote Dreamception.
Dreamception. Yeah.
That's all I drew.
I mean, mine is something that I would just... Oh, yeah. Right. This is funny. Editing Libby again. Yeah, we're talking about really creepy sleep paralysis stuff. We'll be done talking about it in like 3 minutes if you want to skip ahead. I've had it once and
Anytime I'm about to sleep and I remember that sleep paralysis is a thing, I get paranoid. I'm like, just the fact that I'm acknowledging it means that the odds that I'm going to experience it now are greater, because that's how it works.
Yeah.
And I get paranoid about it, but it hasn't happened.
I mean, the one time I had it, I knew what it was, but I didn't know much about it. And I wasn't thinking about it before. It just happened. So here's my story with sleep paralysis one time. There's not much to really say. I was just having a dream. Don't remember what the dream was. Have no idea. But I woke up. So I sleep on my front, right? I'm a front sleeper. But when I woke up this one time, I was on my back, right? which is kind of strange. Doesn't really happen with me that much. But it does happen. But I woke up. It was the middle of the night. And I don't know why, but I was looking down towards the end of my bed. Don't know why, because normally I'm looking towards the walls or whatever. But I was looking down towards the end of my bed. And there was just a figure staring right at me, right? I don't really know what they looked like. It was too dark. But I saw someone standing there. And they were slowly walking towards me. They were slowly walking towards me, staring right at me, and I could not move. I'm completely paralyzed, and this thing is walking towards me. Every second, like, it only would have lasted like a few seconds, but the thought of it was horrible.
Yeah, that's what I hear it's like.
Yeah, it's like it only lasts a few seconds, but it's the scariest few seconds of your life. Like, as soon as you can move again, that thing at the end of your bed goes completely. Like, they disappear.
Huh.
Yeah, I've made you very scared. I'm sorry, Lion.
No, I'm not. I'm just thinking about it. Because I know specific... If I ever had sleep paralysis, I know the corner of my room that thing would appear in. That's what I'm thinking about. I know specifically the corner of my room it would appear in.
Is it like a dark corner? Like a very sussy
kind of.
corner?
Like it's... sussy. Either that or like my chair, which sometimes has clothes on top of it.
That's fair.
I could mistake that for... yeah.
Like, if I would have had sleep paralysis like a month or so ago, it would have been the worst thing ever. Because I remember like drying a coat on my bathroom door. So I have a bathroom like connected to my bedroom, and it's like I had to dry my coat right on my bedroom on the bathroom door. So I had the door slightly open and I had my coat on top of the door. So from my bed, it looks like a person. If it had happened during that, it would have been scary. Oh, God. Right.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Anyway, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's all I had to say about dreams.
Yeah.
And about everything else.
About everything else, all the questions. There was 8 questions. We've been going for an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot longer than I thought we'd be going on for. Which is
I wonder
awesome.
how much you can cut it down. Because there's a lot of stuff you can't cut down. But some stuff you can, I think.
I don't want to do too much editing on this. Besides from, like, zooms in on us and cutting out the things where, I don't know, something happens or whatever.
Yeah.
There's probably not been much cutting down. So those who have stayed throughout all of this, I hope you've actually enjoyed this, because we had no plan going into this, not really. Like, we had the questions already. We had
a rough plan.
Yeah, we had a bit of a rough plan. Like, we didn't know specifically, like, how it was all going to go, but it seems to have gone very well. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Anyone who is, I hope you enjoyed it. Almost definitely going to do another one with a different guest. I just thought it'd be very fitting to have Lion here for the very first one.
Well, I am honored for that. And when this podcast improves and it's much better, you can have me here in the very first one where it's worse than it is like a month from now or 2 months from now.
I will bring you back if this continues.
Like whenever this is full professional, like studio quality, you'll still have me here. Yelling and peeking the mic about Ace Attorney. That's
yeah. Let us know if you actually enjoyed the podcast. I've never done a podcast before, or anything even similar. So feedback is always awesome.
Please comment. Say a random word.
What's the normal? How do you normally end YouTube podcasts? You don't say like, comment, subscribe. I don't know. This is new to me.
If you watch this far, comment. I can tell it's piss.
I can tell it's piss. that was a thing during like the creation of this set. So I modeled this bottle, which it's very big. For anyone who's listening, for some reason the bottles that we're drinking, they're massive. They're huge when you throw them on the ground. And when making them, a few people said it looked a bit like piss. So that's where that came from.
Rewatch that whole segment about piss that we had and see how many times we drink.
We've been drinking a lot of piss, definitely. I hope that this isn't actually piss.
Yeah, I would hope so, but I can't tell.
Okay. Well, anyway, I'm going to try and end this off. I don't know how to end off a podcast. So thank you to Lion for being the guest. Thank you to Libby for making the absolutely amazing intro music. It's really good.
Libby did such a great job.
He did do such a good job. Really like what he done. Are we not going to talk about the name?
I mean, we explained the name at the beginning. It's just the potato theme.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. We did. I even said... Wait.
Did I mention the alternative name?
Fuck, it's not about potatoes. I forgot about that. Jeez.
He's just left.
God.
He has walked off the set.
God, I can't even...
He is walking towards the original version of the set I made 3 days ago. And he's just standing there. Okay. The original name, well, it was the Potato Fields. That's what we wanted to call it all along. Because it seems fitting, because we want to have guests in each different episode of this. And a lot of the people that are going to be guests on this are on our Discord, which is also called the Potato Fields and has been called that for years now. So to me, it just sounded like super fitting to call it that. But one other name that we had was Spudcast. We have a character called Spud, and it could have been really fitting to call it Spudcast because it's like Spud podcast, but we didn't end up going for that. Most people did prefer the name Spudcast, to be fair, but personally, I'm just a huge Potato Fields enjoyer, so that's the name that I ended up going for. Lion standing right behind the camera, trying to find the perfect time to come back. He did go for Spudcast, but most people did go for Spudcast, but I'm a Potato Fields enjoyer.
I mean, the Potato Fields makes sense.
It seems more fitting with potato.
I was trying to find like a little like branding specific to the podcast, but there was nothing.
Yeah, I don't know. Potato Fields, I think, just fits a lot more, in my opinion, anyway. The name might stick. If at any point later down the line we decide on a better name, we'll just change the names of all the episodes. So if you're looking at this in the future and the name of the podcast is not the Potato Fields, yeah, it seems we've changed the name.
Then the first 5 minutes of the podcast isn't not going to make much sense.
It's completely irrelevant.
It's irrelevant. My joke is irrelevant. I am irrelevant.
Oh god. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to see you guys in the next one. I hope you really enjoyed this. We're going to try practicing some new things the next one. But anyway, yeah. See ya.
Bye.